Good morning, everybody. This is Alex, Senior Account Executive at GDMFX with your European Session Outlook. We'll start with the North American markets, where we had two events yesterday. The Labor Market Conditions Index for November came out 1.1 points less than previous, and the Consumer Credit Change for October is $4.04 billion worse than expected. U.S. indexes finished firmly in negative territory yesterday, as plunging oil prices walloped energy and material stocks, particularly partially undoing some of Friday's big rally. The Dow is 8 points down, Nasdaq 18 down, Dixie up to 98.60 from 98.25. The USD CAD is the biggest mover, 120 pips up. This is again because of the oil movement. Today we have Bank of Canada Governor Polos speaking, and again from Canada we have seasonally adjusted year-on-year housing starts data. From the EU market we had German industrial production year-on-year come out at 0.2% higher than previous, and month-on-month 0.5% worse than expected at 0.2%. EU investor confidence at 15.7%, which is slightly worse than expected. And Swiss foreign currency reserves are 12 billion higher than the previous. We had our Eurogroup meeting yesterday as well. The main key points which were discussed were a banking union, single supervisory mechanism, Greece and the state of play in Greece, the institutions, and the Greek Minister for Finance, Euclid Tsakalotos, briefed the Eurogroup on the way forward for implementing Greece's European Stability Mechanism program, which was agreed last August. Also, they talked about Ireland and the post-program surveillance, and the Eurogroup welcomed the results of the fourth post-program surveillance mission to Ireland, carried out in November by the European Commission. The mission concluded that the country's ongoing adjustment efforts were continuing to yield positive results. There was also thematic discussions on growth and jobs, mainly pensions. Also, the Asian Infrastructure Investment Bank was talked about. The Eurogroup took note of the progress made towards reaching an agreement in principle on the setting up of a constituency of the Euro area member states participating in the Asian Infrastructure Investment Bank. The Eurogroup also adopted its work program for the first half of 2016. Alright, the DAX 30 is 40 points up. We had a big movement on the euro against Australian dollar, 100 pips up, and against the New Zealand dollar, 170 pips up. For today, we'll be waiting for the European zone GDP and French trade balance. Alright, on to the UK markets. The FTSE 100 lost 0.2%. to close at 6,223.52, erasing an earlier gain. The reversal came as oil firms extended their decline, tracking a 4% drop in oil prices. Also, Mark Carney supported the recent policies made by Mario Draghi and believes they will lead to success in yesterday's speech. Today's most important news from the UK is the GDP estimate for November. Right, on to the Asian and Pacific markets. In Asia, we had the Japanese gross domestic product annualized, better than previous, at negative 0.8%. Right now, it's at 1%, actually. The GDP for the quarter on quarter, is now at 0.3%. The GDP deflator year-on-year for the third quarter is 0.2% less than previous. Asian indexes hit 3-week lows on Tuesday as a rout in oil prices knocked energy company shares lower, and many investors moved to the sidelines ahead of next week's meeting, where the Federal Reserve is expected to raise U.S. interest rates. Alright, in the Pacific, the recent commodity slide raises the risk that the Royal Bank of Australia will start commenting adversely on the strength of the currency. That would help push the Australian dollar down in the absence of further Royal Bank of Australia interest rate cuts. We had some movements with the Australian dollar against the US dollar, 80 pips down, against the Swiss franc, 60 pips down, against the Japanese yen, 100 pips down. The New Zealand dollar against the US dollar is 100 pips down. And New Zealand dollar against the Japanese yen is 110 pips down. For today, or overnight, we're going to have Australian Westpac consumer confidence data. All right, on to commodities. Last sector for the day, crude futures plunged below $38 a barrel, falling to fresh 6-year lows in the first full day of trading since OPEC concluded a meeting by leaving its output ceiling unchanged. Gold had a range of $20, trading at $1,074 now. Silver had a range of 43 cents at $14.28 now. Crude oil had almost $2 range at $37.67 now. And natural gas is trading at $2.03 at the moment with a range of 8 cents. Alright, thank you everybody for the attention. This was your European session outlook for today. I will see you next time. Goodbye.